Hi, this is Ashley back with Lumefinity, and I am here today to show you how to make Wanda from the Fairly Odd Parents. In order to create her for her wings, on this one I have used the electric glow blue. So actually her wings will glow in the dark, and you'll need about 44 of those. If you do not have the electric glow blue, then you can always use either a clear, or on Cosmo I used the clear glitter from Rainbow Loom. You could use those as well. So you can pretty much use any variation of color, but for Wanda I have used the electric glow blue. You'll also need about 32 yellow, 40 skin, 55 black. For her hair I used Rainbow Loom Jelly Pink, so you'll need about 24 of those. For her crown and the top of the wand, I used the orange from the Sweets collection with the glitter in it. If you don't have that, you can always just use gold or regular yellow. And so you'll need 18 of those. So, and then I'm also going to be using 2 pony beads, white pony beads, in order to create the eyes. I have also used a pink Sharpie since her eyes on the character are pink. If you do not have that, you can always just use black for that. So if you want to go ahead and grab your supplies, then we will go ahead and get started. The first part that we're going to work on today is her wings. I have already created one, so I will go ahead and show you how to make one, and then you'll just need to pause the video to make the second one. You're going to have your loom in the staggered configuration, and you're going to start on the top center peg with, and again I'm using the electric glow blue, so if you don't have these you can use clear or any type of glitter band that you might have. And you're coming from the first to the second center pin. You're going to take a single band, and I'm going to double it, coming down once. Then going down from that second center pin out to the left second pin with 2 blue bands, or electric blue. I'm going to repeat that. Actually, you want to go from the second center pin to the third left pin, so you're doing a long angle. Then going from the second center pin to the third pin on the right. Then coming down once on the left from the third pin down to the fourth pin. I'm going to repeat that over here on the right. And then going from the fourth pin down on the right to the center fifth pin at an angle. And I'm going to do that again over here from the fourth left pin to the center fifth pin. And then I'm just going to fill in this center section here. So from the second to third with 2 bands, third to fourth, and fourth to fifth. I then want to cap off this fifth pin, creating 3 loops. So 1, 2, 3. Taking a single band on the third pin down, I'm going to single double and create a triangle. And I want to do that again for the fourth pin. Single double, create the triangle. Once we've done that, we can begin looping. So I'm going to go through my capping band, grabbing the first 2 bands and bringing those forward. Going back in the capping band, grabbing my next 2 bands, going over to the left, doing that again, going back in and to the right. I'm then going to go ahead and just loop up the right hand side, stopping on the second center pin. I'm going to go back down and do that again on the left. And then I'm just going to go ahead and loop straight up the center. And I'm going to go ahead and just loosen this up from the bottom. These electric blue bands, they're extremely tight. So I have a hard time getting those off the pegs. and place that on my holding hook for later. So go ahead and pause the video, create a second wing, and we can continue on. The next piece that we're going to work on today is her arm. I've already created one here, so I will show you how to make one, and if you need to, just pause the video to make a second one. You're going to start on the top left first pin, and you're going to come down twice with 2 yellow bands. And then going to come down 3 times with 2 skin tone colored bands. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm then going to cap off this pin, creating 3 loops. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll just go ahead and loop straight up. And I'm going to grab a holding hook and set that aside for later. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video, make a second arm, and we will continue on. Now that we have the arm and the wings, we're going to go ahead and start the layout for the body. I will be using double bands unless I specify otherwise, just in case I forget to say throughout the layout. You're going to start on the center pin with 3 skin tone color bands, and you're coming down from the first to the second pin 1 time. We're then moving over to yellow, taking 2 yellow bands. You're going from the second center to the left second pin, and repeat that going from the center out to the right. I'm then going to come down the left side of the loom 3 times with 2 yellow bands. Nope, don't do that. Come down once. So twice with the yellow bands. I'm sorry, we got to put the wings on before we put that third one in place. So we're going to do that again over here on the right. And I'm going to go ahead and come down the center 3 times with the 2 yellow bands. Now we're going to grab the wings that we created earlier, and you're going to attach them to the 5th center pin. You want one coming off to the right and one to the left. So you're just going to take these and attach them to the pin and push them down so that the wings are sticking out over here. And I'm going to go ahead and attach the second one, and I'm going to turn this around so it's sticking out on the left. Now we can go ahead and place the 3rd set of those yellow bands. So from the 4th to 5th pin, I'm placing 2 more yellow bands. And I want to do that again on the right. Now I'm going to switch over to black bands. So I'm going to come down on the left 2 times with 2 black bands. And I'm going to repeat that on the right side, coming down twice. Then coming from the outside peg into the center to close off the bottom of the body. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the center section with 2 black bands on each. And you'll want to push this down some because of the wings. Black band just broke. Then moving into the leg area, we're coming off of this peg here with 3 black bands. I'm going to repeat that on the right side with 3 black bands. Coming down again on the left with 2 black bands. The next pin going down will be a single black band. We're going to double it. Coming down the next peg will be 2 black bands. and then coming down one more time with 3 black bands. We are then going to cap off this bottom here, creating 4 loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to repeat those steps on this right hand side. So we've already placed our 3 black bands. I'm now coming down with 2 black bands. The next one is a single double black band. Coming down again with 2 black bands. And finishing off with 3 black bands. And I'm then going to cap this peg off with 4 loops. I'm just going to turn my loom. Now we need to go up down to the base of the body and we need to cap this off, and on this we'll be creating 3 loops. 1, 2, and 3. Going up to the top, on the second pins down, we can go ahead and attach our arms. So you're just going to place 1 on the second pin on the left and 1 on the second pin on the right. I'm going to drop the band. Once those things are in place, we can place our crossover bands. So starting on the 3rd pin down under the arms, taking a single yellow, just creating a triangle. And we're going to do that again for the 4th pin. We're going to switch over to our black bands on the 5th pin down, creating a triangle. Same thing on the 6th. And a final one down here on the 7th. And these are just all single triangles. Now that this stuff is in place, we can go ahead and begin looping. So we're going to go down to the bottom of the feet. I'm going to go ahead over on the right, going through my capping band, grabbing all 3 bands and bringing those up. And I'm just going to go ahead and loop straight up to this pin here at the top of the leg. Going back down on the left, I'm going to go through the capping band, grabbing all 3 bands, and then go ahead and loop up to the top of the leg. Then I'm going to go through the capping band at the bottom of the body, grabbing my first 2 bands, bringing those forward, grabbing the next 2 bands, bringing those over to the left, and grabbing the next 2 and bringing them over to the right. I'm now going to go ahead and loop up the outsides of the body. So going through all these black bands, grabbing only the bottom 2 and bringing those up. Now when you get to working the bands around the wings, you want to be careful that you're only grabbing the yellow bands so that you're not pulling parts of the electric glow blue through with them as well. So when you get to this 4th peg down, you might want to just push down on the wings to hold them down so you can actually just get only these bottom yellow bands. And I'm going to stop on the 2nd pin down in the center. I'm going to go back down and loop up on the left. And again, I'm going to go ahead and pull back on my wings. And then I'm going to go down and just loop straight up the center. Making sure when I get to the wings, I'm going through all of the electric glow blue bands and grabbing those bottom 2 yellow bands only. When I get up here, I want to make sure I go through all of the yellow, and I want to make sure I'm grabbing all 3 of my skin tone colored bands. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up, starting at the bottom. And this is how you create the body for Wanda. The next part that we're going to create, we're going to start working on the face, the crown, and her hair. So we're going to start at the top of the loom, and we'll be using the Rainbow Loom Jelly Pink. And again, I'll be using double bands unless I specify otherwise. So coming from the center first pin with 2 of the Jelly Pink coming out to the left. And I'm going to do that again, going out and to the right. Then coming down twice on the left-hand side with 2 Jelly Pink bands. And I'm going to repeat that on the right. Then I'm taking 2 more Jelly Pink, going from the center first to center second pin. Switching over to the skin tone bands, I'm coming down on the left 1 time and 1 time on the right as well. Then coming in, creating the chin on the right. And the same thing here going to the left. We're then going to fill in the center with 2 skin tone bands coming down to the chin. We're then going to go ahead and place the eyes, and in order to do that, I'm going to take a single pink jelly band, grabbing my 2 beads. I'm just going to feed that through the center. Except it doesn't want to work for me tonight. Now I want to grab another Jelly Pink band, and I'm going down to the second pin. I'm going to go ahead and create my crossover bands. Then taking the eyes, I'm going to use the same pegs going straight across. I'm going to separate my beads, and I'm going to go through the center, grabbing the bottom portion of that band and bringing it down over this 3rd pin. We then want to go ahead and attach the ears, and to create those we're going to take a single skin tone band on our hook, creating 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do that again using another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking another skin tone band, I'm going to double it, and I'm going to pull these bands into place. Reclaim the other side, and we are going to place this on the 3rd pin on the right. I'm going to repeat that again. So taking a single, creating my 4 loops, doing that again. Taking a single, I'm going to double it. And I'm going to place this on the 3rd peg on the left. Just like that. Now using the bottom, any bottom portion of your loom, we're going to create the crown so we can attach that. And again, I'm using the Rainbow Loom Sweets. I believe it's the orange, Sweets Orange. And so to do that, I'm just going to go anywhere down here. So I'll just start down here on this peg. I'm going to take a single band and I'm going to double it. And again, if you don't have the sweets, you can always use yellow or gold. And I'm going to come down once. I'm then going to take a single band going from this pin, coming out once at an angle. I'm going to come down once straight with a single band, and then coming out to my opposite angle, just like this. I then want to cap each one of these off, creating 4 loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to do that again. And now we can go ahead and loop this up. So I'm going to go in through my right capping band, grabbing my band, single band, and bringing it at an angle to the center. I'm going to go grab the center one and then the left one. Then going through all these bands, I'm going to grab my single double and bring it up. And you want to go ahead and loosen these up without pulling the bands. If you pull too hard, you could grab one band and then it'll be sticking up a little odd. I'm going to remove this. And I then want to place this on the very first pin on the right hand side. Just like that. And then we want to go ahead and place the rest of our crossover bands. So I'm going to take a single jelly pink on the 3rd pin down, and I'm going to create my triangle. And then taking a single skin tone band, I'm going to go ahead and create another triangle. We're also going to go ahead and create her hairpiece, although we will not attach that right away. We're just going to go ahead and create it now, and we'll be using the jelly pink for that. And you're actually going to create this on your loom. So you're going to take, or I'm sorry, on your hook. So go ahead and take the jelly pink on your hook and create 3 loops. I'm then going to take 2 more and feed those in place, 2 bands. And then taking 2 more jelly pink, I'm going to pull those on and reclaim the other side. Taking 2 more and reclaim the other side. Now before I go on, I'm actually going to take my hook. I want to find that capping band with 3 loops, and I'm going to push those 3 bands back onto my hook. Just like that. So now I have the bands that I last fed on, as well as the capping band, the 3 bands from the capping band. I then want to take 2 more pink bands, and I'm going to pull all of this in place. And this will be her hair piece, so we're not going to need that right away. Just remove it if you have another hook to place it on, or you can stick it on a lower peg down here to hold on to it for later. Now we're going to grab the body, and we want to attach the neck on to this 5th center pin as the capping band. And make sure all of the bands are going on so that you don't drop any bands, or she might fall apart. And to make it easier in the beginning, you can pull her body down and kind of hook some of the bands around the lower pin so you can reach in to grab these other bands a little bit easier. Now that the body is in place, we'll go ahead and begin looping. So I'm going to go through grabbing my first 2 bands and bring them forward. I'm going to go back in, grabbing my next 2, bringing them to the left, and grabbing the next 2 to the right. I'm going to go ahead and loop up the outside bands, so going in and looping up. I'm going to go back down on the left. Now we're going to go in and we're going to just loop up the first two skin tone colored sets. And we're going to push this down. You want to grab the hair piece and you're going to place this on this second from the top pin. And we're just going to leave this part facing down. No. I'm sorry, you want it to face up. So it's going to go in between these two pins. Now you're going to go in, grabbing your next two bands. I'm going to bring these up, but I want to feed the ball through the center of that loop. So it's actually coming through right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a single jelly pink, going through the top, and create my slip knot. Once we've done that, she is ready to come off the loom, so I'm going to loosen up her body a little. And just push her eyes through. And then you're going to want to take a Sharpie, which mine got up and walked away, and draw the eyes in place. And that's pretty usual for my tutorials. My Sharpies tend to be the one thing I cannot remember to grab. But all I did was I took a pink colored Sharpie and I drew the eyes in place right here. So if you don't have pink, just use black to do that. The final piece that we're going to create is her wand, and to do that we're going to use the loom in the staggered configuration, and we're going to start on the top center pin with a single black band, and you're going to double it. Coming down, you're going to come down 4 times total with single double black bands. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then coming down one more time with 2 black bands, and you're going to do what I call a double double. So stretch them out and double them over. Then using, for the wand, I'm using again the Sweets Orange Collection. If you don't have these, yellow or gold will work as well. Or really any color you want the wand to be. So coming from where we finished off with our black, I'm taking a single band and I'm going to go at an angle. So 6th center pin up to the 5th left pin. And then going from the 6th center to the 6th left, and from the 6th center to the 7th center. Then from the 6th center to the 6th on the right, and the 6th center to the 5th on the right. And then we're going to cap off each of these outer pegs, creating 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do it again on this one. I'll just go ahead and turn my loom around. It's a little easier because I'm left-handed. And now we can begin looping. So I'm going to go in through my right side, grabbing that first band and bringing it over to the center. And I'm just going to go all the way around, bringing all of these back into the center. Now I'm going to go in through all of the gold bands, grabbing my bottom black only, and bringing those up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and loop straight up. Once I'm at the top, I'm going to grab the bottom two bands, these two here, and create a slip knot by pulling them over the top. Now, I'm not going to just grab this and pull. Because of these capping bands, it's going to be tight, so what could potentially happen is one will get pulled out and then it'll be sticking out all funny. So I want to go ahead in here and just loosen all of these up. And now we can pull this off. And then what you want to do is you're going to take your hook through the hand, just go through the what we did for the capping band on the bottom of the arm. Only want to grab the 3. I'm then going to grab those bottom 2 black bands and pull through the hand. And just pull slightly down so that it's actually onto the black bands. Now you can always hide these if you want by feeding through, up through the middle of the black and pulling them back in, or you can leave them hanging. That's really up to you. As far as the slip knot on the top of her head, you can hide that as well, just bringing it through the back of the head to hide that down in there. But that is how you create Wanda from the Fairly Odd Parents. There she is with her eyes drawn on. So don't forget to subscribe for updates on my future videos, and I hope you like her.